Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we are doing a combined 11 for Leicester City, their 2015-16 title winning side, obviously one of the most famous sides in Premier League history, under Claudio Ranieri even, and this season's side under Brendan Rodgers, who are rumoured and sort of in the media sort of talked about as being potential title challengers to Liverpool. Obviously this weekend we'll know further if they are or not. If they beat City, if they lose to City, it's a big indicator of where Leicester City are compared to the rest of the competition. So I thought I'd do a combined 11 of the best players from this current side. Some of them obviously still play for Leicester, and then some from the side only a few years ago, but I feel like a lot of players transitioned out of that side quickly. They sort of hit their peak and went off to do other things quite miraculously. They won the Premier League only 3 years ago now. And it feels like one of the best moments in Premier League history, even looking back on it after 3 years. So it's really cool, really nice idea to sort of maybe bring some of these players together and see who really fits and where the side could go. So in goal, there's obviously no question it will be Kasper Schmeichel, obviously Peter Schmeichel's son. He's been a stalwart in that side for a long time, played for them in the Championship even, and he's been there for sort of 4 or 5 seasons, even a bit longer. Top shot stopper on his day, maybe not the best with his feet, and that's why he's never really left Leicester to go to a bigger club. But why did you leave Leicester? They've got such a good established sort of side there, and the stadium's brilliant, the infrastructure's brilliant. I've been lucky enough to go to their training ground, and it's a state-of-the-art sort of thing. It's absolutely fantastic. So obviously Schmeichel goes in goal, and he was a leader at the back. He's missed a Leicester through and through, really. It's the longest stint he's had at any club. Obviously, he's ironically played for Man City back in the day, as did his dad. And Kasper Schmeichel's just one of those keepers that will go down in Leicester history, no question. At right back, Ricardo Pereira. The issue is Danny Simpson's a legend, but if you look at footballing ability, I think Pereira's already surpassed what Danny Simpson could ever do at right back. That's no offence to the guy. I think Danny Simpson's career hasn't really, he was sort of quite old when it happened. He was sort of in his peak when they won the Premier League. He was solid at right back, Danny Simpson. But I do have to say that Pereira, what I've seen from him, obviously even got European experience playing for Portugal, international level sort of experience, which sort of takes him past Danny Simpson in my perspective on it. He's powerful going forward. He's physical in the challenge going back. Just offers a bit more dynamism than Danny Simpson, in my opinion. Now, the two centre-backs, I think, pick themselves, and you could argue that Sionchu in the future would be a better player. I would have included Harry Maguire in this list because I think he obviously did play under Brendan Rodgers, but not presently this season, only for sort of half a season. And he was brilliant for Leicester, there's absolutely no question. But and even Johnny Evans, obviously a Champions League winner. Super good experience at winning the Premier League with Man United. But just past, I don't know, obviously the two I will pick are past their peak as well when they played for Leicester. But they sort of did it in such a romantic fashion. I don't think those two as a unit, Wes Morgan and Robert Huth, are so pivotal to Leicester winning the Premier League title. Huth scored some impressive goals, even 2 against Man City in one game. Wes Morgan came out of the Championship, played for Leicester. A lot of Leicester fans didn't even think it was the right transfer for them to even stay up in the league, let alone for a centre-back to go on and push them towards the Premier League. Obviously, the captain of the club, you can't not put Wes Morgan in, and Robert Huth just partnered him so well. They had no pace. They had no precision on the ball. You're not expecting that. I think Claudio Ranieri just sat Kante in front of them. Kante sort of did the ball-playing centre-back work. I mean, some sides have ball-playing centre-backs like Laporte at Man City, Van Dijk, Alderweireld, whoever it is. Kante sort of dropped deep enough to pick the ball off the centre-back, so they didn't even have to touch the ball, and Kante would be the one that started all the attacks from that Premier League title-winning side. Left-back, I'm going to have to put Ben Chilwell in here. I think Christian Fuchs is an absolute icon at the club. He's still there, of course. He's sort of second choice now. It might be a bit harsh to throw him out, but I think quality for quality, I think Ben Chilwell will go on to be a world-class left-back. I don't think Christian Fuchs ever will be or ever has been, in fairness. His set-piece delivery, Fuchs, and his sort of leadership, again, another leader. Even in the air, he's such a tall fullback, quite tall as a left-back. And provided sort of the leadership and the experience, and again, was part of that back line that you can't question, really, in terms of attitude. But in terms of footballing prowess, Ben Chilwell, obviously England international, playing at highest level, playing in tournaments for England. We will do this summer unless he gets injured. Played in the international, the Nations League in the summer. Was absolutely fantastic. Some great performances against the likes of Spain. even in the Premier League, the likes of Chelsea, he's been rumoured to go to and played really well at Stamford Bridge earlier in the season. So I do think Ben Chilwell is a better player, and that's why he gets in the side. It's purely a football decision and not a romantic one. In midfield, there's only one man. It's obviously N'Golo Kante that has to go in the sort of base of midfield. For me, N'Golo Kante, he's arguably one of the best defensive midfielders the Premier League's ever seen, let alone Leicester City, let alone what Chelsea have seen. Obviously, they've been lucky with the likes of Johnny Mikel, Claude Makelele. N'Golo Kante's so good, he's gone in there and made them look even better. And of course, he won the Premier League under Antonio Conte. Under Ranieri, he did the work of three midfielders sometimes. Him and Danny Drinkwater covered so much ground. And it was a balanced midfield. He's very good on the ball. He doesn't lose the ball, N'Golo Kante, and I thought he was superb the whole season. And that's why he instantly got his move to Chelsea and got a bumper pay packet and all that stuff, and went straight into the Champions League and the like. He is one of the best midfielders in the world, obviously a World Cup winner as well. Superb. And Leicester City, if they hadn't have signed him, no way would they have won the Premier League. Sometimes you just need players to click, become world class in a season. Vincent Kompany, turned from a decent centre back into a world class one in 2012. Van Dijk turned into a really world class centre back for the Champions League final. So the moments where Kante showed in that Premier League season, winning the ball back, his distribution, as soon as he won the ball, he didn't lose it again. He sort of gave it off to someone else. Some midfielders can actually pick up the ball, win the ball, and then lose it again, trying a Hollywood pass. So N'Golo Kante at the base of the midfield. Alongside him, I'm going to put in a risky shout. Danny Drinkwater is a great option because of how well he played with Kante that season. I'm going to put Yuri Tielemans in there just because he's got the potential to be one of the best midfielders in the world. His move to Monaco didn't quite work out from Belgium, but when he plays for Belgium, he's exceptional. He's played at the highest level for Belgium. And Leicester City, before he signed after his loan move, he was linked to Chelsea, Man City, Spurs, Man United, and it never really pulled off. I think some clubs were worried about his form at Monaco, and I think he just wanted to settle down and play under a top manager in Brendan Rodgers. And he went to Leicester, and he's playing every game. He's improving week in, week out. He'll probably play in the Champions League next season if Leicester can maintain their push for the top four minimum, regardless of what happens in the Premier League title race. And he will be an asset for that club. He could be worth anything from 70, 80, 90 million quid. Absolutely superb footballer. I think him and Kante looks more like a dynamic duo than Drinkwater does. And Drinkwater's career obviously sort of stagnated after that Premier League win. Moves to Chelsea and Burnley haven't quite worked out. He was superb that season. Don't get me wrong. Very balanced, strong midfielder, Danny Drinkwater on his day. Just didn't quite work out, obviously. So Tielemans goes into the centre of midfield. On the right, I think you have to put in... I'm going to put in Mark Albrighton. Mark Albrighton has to be one of the most underrated players in the Premier League. His time at Villa wasn't great. And Mark Albrighton, he could score you an important goal, but his work ethic up and down the pitch. He reminds me of James Milner when he was at Aston Villa. James Milner sort of on the right midfield, sometimes playing in centre midfield. Wouldn't stop working, leader, passionate, powerful player. And he's definitely, when he moved to Leicester, at Aston Villa, he looks like a bit of a kid, and he matured at Leicester City, and he is part of that ensemble cast, that core group of players that won Leicester the Premier League title with momentum. There's a few that sort of came off the bench and did things, Ulloa and the like. Even Okazaki had moments in and out the side. Mark Albrighton was the core to that, and his work ethic was sublime. On the left, I'm going to put Shinji Okazaki. You could sort of rotate him with a couple of the other players that I'm going to throw in later, but Okazaki's work ethic, he can play on the left. It's a shame about his sort of career at Leicester. Didn't quite work out after that. I think he was just sort of getting a little bit older. Obviously, I've got a Japan shirt behind me, and he's a hero in Japan. I've been lucky enough to meet the guy as well. He's very humble, very energetic spirit. And on the pitch, you could see that he wouldn't stop working. He wouldn't stop running for the calls. Did score some important goals in that Premier League title winning side. I think if you ask Brendan Rodgers now if you had Okazaki sort of in that season for you now, I think you'd probably take him over Harvey Barnes in terms of one season. He could provide you so much energy, so much experience. An absolutely brilliant player. I think up front, if you sort of play one of them deeper than the other, you know the two that's going to be playing up front for this side. It's going to be Riyad Mahrez, obviously won Player of the Season award for the Premier League that season. Scored bag load of goals. He got about 1 goal at every 3 appearances for Leicester over his sort of 2.5, 3 years. Obviously at Man City, he won the Premier League again, so it shows you how good he's been. And he is a top player, one of the best African players to play in the Premier League, no question. Obviously got Algeria to win the AFCON as well in the summer. He'll go down as absolutely one of the best imports to the Premier League, and Leicester City fans know about his free kicks, not necessarily his penalties, as Man City fans can attest to as well. But his set piece delivery was brilliant, and the quality of finish was so pure. He could hit the ball dead with his left or right foot, dribbles past players, a bit like the sort of Algerian Robben. And he actually was so dangerous down the middle sometimes with Vardy, because Vardy would create space, headers and clearances would come from the centre backs, and he'd pick up the pieces, and he could score long range sort of goals as well. Absolutely brilliant, draw a foul. And Ranieri hung a lot of the creative play on him and him alone, and the rest were sort of workaholics, because obviously the guy that would play ahead of Riyad Mahrez a lot of the time, or nearly all the time, was Jamie Vardy, whose goal return since moving to Leicester, including when they were in that relegation fight the first season under Nigel Pearson, is absolutely exceptional. He's nearly 1 in 2. For a player that came from non-league, a player that peaked very late in his career, and for a player that's rumoured to be drinking Red Bulls sort of at half-time and just to get his energy up for all the running he does, he's a unique character in football, and there's not many of him around. He's a bit of a shithouse, I think it's fair to say. He'll bring you down, he'll foul you, he'll press you from the front, but he scores some sublime goals. Obviously the goal against Liverpool being the sort of the jewel in the crown for Leicester City fans. How he came from non-league to achieve what he did in the Premier League without a Premier League trophy would have been incredible. But the fact his goals contributed to a Premier League win against all the odds, he'll go down as an absolute iconic striker in Premier League history. And if he'd done all this a bit earlier, he could be playing for the likes of Real Madrid, Barcelona. He's that good in his prime. I think it's just that he's a little bit older now, and his time with England wasn't always great. He was obviously brought off the bench a lot. If he's a bit younger, I mean, imagine what he could have done. But no question, Riyad Mahrez and Jamie Vardy up front. So that's my starting lineup. I think you have to put Claudio Ranieri just because he's obviously won the Premier League trophy, experienced times with Chelsea as well. Didn't quite work out with Fulham, of course. But Brendan Rodgers, a little bit less experience, less trophies in England. And obviously Ranieri is the Tinkerman. He's loved in the media. He's loved by fans in football. He's an absolute icon of the game. So that's my lineup. Guys, what did you think of that lineup? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe to TBR Football. And we'll be back with some more video content coming soon.